Elon Musk Starlink is now officially available in Nigeria and everyone has high expectations of it, hoping it will give our current network providers a run for their money as it promises wider coverage, unlimited data, and faster internet. Now, having had mine for well over a week, I'd say while it is promising, it's probably not quite the solution you were hoping for, at least not yet. For starters, you can order Starlink directly from their website just by selecting your location to confirm its availability. Then you fill in your details and go ahead to make your payment, which brings us to the first challenge you might encounter. Its price is currently listed with CBN's official rate, but you can only pay with dollar cards, meaning the actual price it will cost is upwards of 400,000 naira. Not everyone has a dollar card and funding them is not exactly easy, meaning getting Starlink is not quite straightforward. It does list a couple of ways to pay like payday, but these are still virtual card services and you still have to buy dollars above the black market rate. Now, once you can successfully place your order, Starlink takes about 2 to 4 weeks to deliver due to high demand. Now, the monthly subscription is about $42 and that's about 32,000 naira. You get 30 days free trial, it seems, although I got a payment due notification from Starlink within 5 days. In the Starlink box, you find your mount, dish, router, and cables. Setting this up is very easy and can be done by anyone. You might only need assistance to get it mounted on your roof, as it needs clear access to the sky. The cable that comes with it is 75 feet long and it's plenty sufficient. It doesn't require any technicalities to get it working. Just connect the router to power and to the dish, download the app and follow the setup guide. It needs to be positioned somewhere without obstructions, either an open field or on the roof. You can use the app to scan if it's in a good position. Now, once set up, it aligns itself to Starlink satellites and you're good to go. The mount that comes with it is suitable for flat surfaces or ground placement. You can order alternative mounts from Starlink, either wall mounts or pole mounts as you see fit. Would have been great if you can choose a suitable one during the initial order so you don't have to spend extra. Now, when you first set it up, you might not get the desired speed as it needs time to calibrate. Within 15 minutes of setup, you notice it becomes faster. The Starlink router broadcasts its network on both 2.4 and 5 GHz under the same Wi-Fi name, and your device connects to the supported network. You can split the network if you want to, but from my tests, I discovered that its 5 GHz network is on a channel not supported by most smartphones. For context, my Pixel 7 connects to the 5 GHz network, but every other phone I have connects to 2.4 GHz. That includes my Galaxy S23 Ultra, iPhone 14 Pro, S22 Ultra, Fold 4, and all others. Now, that is not to say these phones do not support 5 GHz Wi-Fi. They can connect to 5 GHz from my MTN router, just not with Starlink. But it's detectable on my laptops, so speeds are noticeably faster on my laptop and the Pixel 7. But I think the 2.4 GHz network is good enough, especially for smartphones, since with 5 GHz, you need to be close to the router for best performance, and you move around the house with your smartphones. Now, the download speeds as promised for this region is consistently between 50 to 250 Mbps, at least until it starts raining. Yeah, you heard right, Starlink gets affected by weather conditions, in this case, rain. My Starlink initially went offline for a few minutes, then came back online and was giving speeds consistently below 10 Mbps and upload speeds as low as 0. Other Starlink users also reported the same. Now, it's giving DSTV vibes, like when it rains, it pours, literally. Another concern when it comes to speeds, regardless of weather conditions, Starlink has terrible upload speeds. I've had to rely on my MTN for uploads. Attempts to upload a less than 400 MB file was taking up to 20 minutes with Starlink. That's terrible, and I hope with time it gets better, because you don't spend this amount of money for internet and still need to rely on alternatives for uploads and adverse weather conditions. But on the bright side, one advantage Starlink has over major ISPs we currently have in Nigeria is coverage. You can use it anywhere, even in remote areas, as long as you have a good source of power, that is. You cannot use Starlink without a constant power source, and I'm not talking about small power banks. The router is expected to connect up to 128 devices. I didn't have that much to test it with. Now, as you should already know, the more devices connected, the slower the speed, and as I mentioned before, devices that can connect to its 5 GHz channel will have faster internet speeds, in my case, the Pixel 7. The range of Starlink's router is about standard and reaches every part of my 3-bedroom apartment. You should have no issues as long as it's in a central location. If, however, you have a much bigger space, say with multiple floors, or you're using it for business purposes, you might need to get the mesh to extend it, and that costs about $186 per one. Also, what might cost you extra $57 is the Ethernet adapter. The router does not have an Ethernet port. From my research, Starlink is not truly unlimited. It has a 1TB cap, after which there is fair usage and the speed is throttled. I've not used up to 1TB, so I can't confirm how slow it will get. There's also the peak and off-peak hours, so data you use in off-peak hours does not count towards the 1TB. So if you are that much of a heavy user and can use as much as 1TB monthly, you can save your heavy downloads for off-peak hours, which is from 11 PM to 7 AM. For the gamers, the ping is around the same as I get with MTN. It's not better. Also, since it has poor upload speeds, if you live stream, you might want to seek an alternative. One issue you might have with Starlink is the lack of support service. There's no easy way to reach customer support like we have with our local ISPs. So if you have any issues, you need to research and probably create support tickets and hope for a resolution. There's no support line to call for complaints. A friend got a defective cable with the Starlink, and over 72 hours as of the time I'm filming this, no response from them. So you might want to keep that in mind. So who exactly is Starlink for, you might wonder. Note that purchasing Starlink does not replace your mobile network, since you can't just carry it around. You'll still be subscribing to mobile data, and due to its current poor upload speeds and unreliability in tricky weather conditions, you might still need backup internet. Now, if you don't use any more than say 300 gig monthly internet, I won't recommend spending so much on Starlink. Definitely not for that average user that just wants to subscribe 1,000 naira for data. Its pros are wide coverage even in remote areas, good download speeds, large data cap, probably more than you need. Its cons, it needs constant power supply to work, currently poor upload speeds, not reliable when it's raining from my experience so far, and no easy access to customer support. So you weigh the pros and the cons and decide if it meets your network demands. Let me know in the comments your thoughts, and if you have any questions I probably didn't cover in this video. Peace.